evening everyone, Sam here from Mind Body Medical. So welcome to day 11 of the 12 days of Ayurveda. We're talking tonight about how to cultivate blissful deep sleep with a really simple change to our routine. So in our clinic, sleep dysfunction, poor sleep, insufficient sleep, poor quality sleep is one of the biggest problems we see on a regular basis. And anyone that has read Matthew Walker's best-selling book, Why We Sleep, if you haven't read that, read that because it's a fascinating book. It talks about why sleep is just so profoundly important to our health in terms of energy, in terms of disease prevention, in terms of longevity, in terms of general well-being. We need good sleep. And in Ayurveda, it's one of the 3 pillars of health. The 3 pillars of health are good food, sleep, and healthy sex, which I spoke about in one of the previous videos. So good sleep is absolutely essential to good health. And there's so many ways of supporting good sleep. But before we turn to herbal medicines or herbal baths or herbal tonics or valerian or the stronger sedative treatments that are really effective, and they're brilliant treatments to have in the wings that you can call up if you're not getting the success elsewhere. But before we turn to those kinds of treatments, the single most important thing we always do to try and optimize and regulate sleep is to hit the melatonin curve. Okay, this is really, really important. So in the evening, as I'm sure most of you know, the body starts secreting a chemical called melatonin, which is one of our primary sleep hormones. And melatonin is responsible for helping us enter into deep, restful sleep cycles. And if our melatonin levels are good, it often equates to good sleep. If our melatonin levels are bad, it equates to bad sleep. So melatonin will naturally start to increase in secretion from 8, 9 in the evening. And for most people, most of the time, the levels of melatonin in our body peak at about 10 to 10:30 in the evening. That's our biological clock, our circadian rhythm saying this is the optimal time to sleep, okay? If we tap into that curve, if we tap into that melatonin curve, if we aim to have the lights off by 10, 10:30, 11 at the latest, we're trying to enter into deep sleep when our body is hormonally primed to do so, okay? We're trying to get to sleep when the body is saying go to sleep, hormonally speaking. And there's very clear evidence that if we get people going to bed at the right time every night consistently, and consistency is the key because it lets the body know what's coming. If we can get people to going to bed regularly at 10, 10:30, 11 at the latest, every night, night after night, week after week, for about 70% of people, it will transform the quality and quantity of their sleep. Okay, and that's my experience would definitely validate that. Most people can drastically improve their sleep quality just by going to bed at the right time. But what happens if we miss that curve? If we start getting to 11, 11:15, 11:30, midnight, what happens? The body says, well, I should be asleep. I'm a diurnal mammal. I'm not nocturnal, I'm diurnal, I'm daytime. It's 11:30, it's midnight. I should be asleep and I'm not asleep, which probably means from an evolutionary perspective, there's a threat. There's a stress, there's a threat that's keeping me awake when I should be asleep. So to help my body cope with that potential stress, I'm going to secrete a little bit of cortisol into the bloodstream. Cortisol suppresses melatonin, and cortisol stimulates the body. So we feel a bit more energized, we feel a bit more wired, and that makes it so hard to go to sleep. I guess most people would call it second wind, where you get tired, you get tired, you get tired, you go through the tiredness and you energize. That's usually because our body is secreting cortisol into the blood to help us prepare for what is a perceived threat. And if it starts getting to 11:30, 12 at night and cortisol is going up, by default it means melatonin is coming down. And at that point in time, trying to enter into deep, restful sleep is not impossible, but it's not far from it, because we haven't got the ability, we haven't got the hormonal profile we need to enter into deep sleep, because we've got too much cortisol, not enough melatonin. So given how endemic poor sleep is, and by poor sleep that's anything less than 7.5 hours, that's what the evidence says we need every day to maintain and tap into all of the profound benefits of sleep. If we're getting less than 7 or 8 hours sleep a night, the first thing I would do is look at when you're going to bed. So at about 10, that should be, about 9, half 9, that should mark the end of your productive day. No emails, no work stuff, no blue light, no scrolling on the phone. What does blue light do? Scrolling on your phone, it's proven to, the blue light that emits is proven to suppress melatonin. Okay, so what we recommend to people in clinic is 9 o'clock, there's a digital curfew. TV's okay, no iPads, no iPhones, no Instagram, no Facebook. It's done for the day. By 9:30, you're winding right down. You aim to be in bed by about 10, maybe read or listen to music, and then the aim being lights out at 10:30 every night. And if you can maintain that routine for 10 to 14 days, usually you see very profound improvements in how quickly you get to sleep and your ability to stay asleep. Okay, so if you or anyone you know suffers with poor quality, broken sleep, please, please, please pass this message on. Get your evening routine and your sleep time consistent every night. Tap into the melatonin curve, tap into your body's own inbuilt system for sleep. And if you do that, sleep usually improves very, very significantly. Okay, so that's that. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about the concept of health empowerment and why it's so integral to Ayurveda. This idea that we're responsible for our own health. We have the ability and the knowledge and the tools to really empower ourselves to maximize our health, reduce our disease risk factors, and why Ayurveda is so integral to that. We've also got a bit of a special announcement tomorrow as well. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, have a lovely evening and I'll see you soon.